Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my first ever Q&A. I get a lot of questions in the comment section on a lot of my videos, especially older videos that I don't always have time to get to, or DMs on my Instagram. And so I thought, what better way to answer a lot of your guys' questions than to do it on YouTube. So I put a question box on my Instagram stories about a week ago. And it said, ask me anything, Enneagram, coaching, life. And you guys showed up. And so we have a lot of questions. More than likely I can't get to all of them today, but I'm gonna answer as much as I can. And stay till the end of the video because I have a really important question to ask you guys. Before we jump into the video, if you're new here, hi, I'm Hillary. I'm your Enneagram life coach, and I run Enneagram and coaching here on YouTube and over on my Instagram, and I even have an Etsy store. All of that is down below if you want to know more, but let's go ahead and hop into today's video. First question. Can animals be typed? Okay, this is kind of a fun one and I liked it, so I wanted to start off with this one. And can they be typed? I mean, I guess if like, you know, their motivation, right? I'm assuming all animals' motivation is very similar, at least dogs. Their motivations are, you know, when am I getting fed? When am I getting walked? And can I sleep all day? And if you do hear snoring, that would be my dog, Luke, sleeping. Truthfully, I don't know. I actually think my dog is a type 2. Obviously we don't know. So can they be typed? I don't know. Go ahead and type them, but just take that all with a grain of salt. Okay, on to the next question. A little more serious. Can my Enneagram type change over time? Okay, this is a great question. I know it would seem like it should be able to, or it can, but guys, it cannot change over time. The only way for your Enneagram type to change is if you didn't get the right one the first time. To me, that's the only way. You were born one way. You were born with a motivation. It's, you know, you were born with a Y, and that's how we find your Enneagram type out. And so if you don't maybe know a lot about yourself, or you haven't done a lot of self-work, or you know, anything internal where you've really looked at what motivates you and been honest with yourself, because honesty really gets you the right Enneagram number. Sometimes we want to be a number, so we're kind of like, well, I think I do that, or I see this behavior, but honestly, behaviors are not how we type you. It's motivations. It's really what is motivating you, right? I'm an Enneagram type 9, the peacemaker. What is motivating me? Well, peace. Peace of mind. I want my world peaceful. I want my relationships good. If everybody's good, I'm good. Is that healthy? No. Am I working on myself? Yes. But I'm just saying, like, what is motivating me truthfully is peace and peace of mind, and I don't want conflict. So it all comes down to that core fear, core desire, core weakness, and core longing. That's how you find your type. But I guess to sum all that up and put a pretty bow on it, you can never change types unless you didn't get the right type first. Okay, so moving on. This one says, will an Enneagram type 3 and type 8 marriage work well? That's interesting. I am always gonna say yes, honestly, because I think all types work. I just think it all depends on levels of health and the work you've done and different things like that. I think all types work, and the 8 and the 3 are both in that assertive triad, so they are a little bit more like assertive and aggressive and energy. You know, they have energy, they both have energy. I think it'd be a great pairing. Again, I think all pairings are gonna work well together. I think there's just so much else that determines, you know, if it's a good relationship or not. But truthfully, a 3 and 8, yeah, I think a 3 and 8 would work for sure. And they would probably get a lot done, if I'm being honest. They're both super driven, so they both would probably maybe both have careers, you know, and both of their careers be really important to them. So they'd have to look out for that and always having to-do list. And so they'd have to be cognizant of that in themselves and make sure that they're making time for each other. I would say also, what's gonna play a huge part in this relationship, the 3 and 8, is your subtype. And so if you're a self-pres 3 and a social 8, well then I would say the self-pres and the social have more to do with if your relationship is flowing or not, or if there's issues arising, right? Because you both have different survival instincts. You know, if you're self-preservation, your first instinct is health, wellness, money, environment, self-preservation. And if you're a social, your first instinct is relationship, everybody else, the group, different things like that. And so when you have two instincts that are different, that causes more friction than the types. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be the same instinct. No, not at all. Because what if two of the same instincts can work just as well as two of the different instincts? I'm just saying having different instincts is what might cause conflict or things at first, but learn about each other's instincts, because I will say I'm a social and my husband is self-preservation. We work well, we work really well together, but it's taken us understanding each other, learning about each other, which is key, get to know each other, understand what's driving, what's motivating, what's your why, because 3s and 8s, while they're similar, they still have different whys, right? They still have different motivations. And so get to know that about each other, and that will help the relationship. Ultimately, any type can be with any type. What's another question? How do I know my wing? I think there was a couple wing questions. Let me see if I can see what the other wing question was. How do I know my wing? How do I know my wing? Okay, so I have a few, how do I know my wings? And then also, can you have a bit of the two wings inside you, or is one always more predominant than the other? So, okay, wings. Where do I start? Yes, you definitely can have a bit of both wings inside you. You can use both wings at any given time. It depends on the situation. It just depends on what you're going through. We say wings are like salt and pepper. They bring flavor to your personality. I know I am a strong 8 wing, 9 wing 8, but dang, do I not use that 1 wing a lot? I do. Unfortunately for me, I use mostly the average unhealthy sides of the 1. I get really critical on myself. I get really critical on what I'm doing. I could be critical of my environment. That's when I know that I'm using the average unhealthy parts of the 1 for my personality, but I also can use the healthy parts, because I mean, fairness to me, oh man, that rules. I want everything to be fair. I want everyone to be heard, different things like that. I want justice. And so I could use all of that, but actually using all of that doesn't make me a 9 wing 1. I am definitely a 9 wing 8, and I just see the 8 show up way more in my life. All that to say, I do believe I was a 9 wing 1 earlier on in my younger years. And so that's another piece to wings. You can flip, you could flop. Okay, so before I get too far into this, just so you know, wings are the number either on either side of your actual type. And so I'm a 9, so that's why I'm saying 9 wing 8 and 9 wing 1. If you're a 7, you have a 6 wing or an 8 wing, and it goes on and on. So you can use both. We say you can be balanced. That is more rare, to where you use both very balanced. I would say usually you use one over the other more. And like I said, it's a little bit of just salt and pepper and, you know, what's going on in your environment and different things like that. And so I would say whichever one that you notice shows up in your life mostly is going to be your dominant wing. Hopefully that helps you understand wings a little better. All right, so moving on to the next question, which is, do 7s always have to be outgoing and extroverted? I think there was another question about 7s too. Oh yeah, right here. How do you best motivate 7s to see the bigger picture when they're in adversity? To answer the first question, do you always have to be outgoing and extroverted? Absolutely not. I know that, you know, we're always talking about 7s being like fun and the life of the party and different things like that. But guess what? Your subtype plays a part in the type of 7 you are, and so does your wing, so does your level of health. All of those come into play. So no, 7s aren't always extroverted. I actually have met introverted 7s. Also, what plays a part is, you know, going towards your growth arrow and stress arrow. So every once in a while, you know, when you're going towards the 5, you're gonna look differently and not be as extroverted and maybe be a little more like quiet and withdrawn. And then you also can go towards the 1, which is your stress path. And, you know, all of a sudden that more than likely, you probably still have a lot of energy, but you're not like, oh my gosh, yes, let's life of the party, whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of how a 7 is. I know the 7, Alan, shout out to Alan. He said when he goes towards the 1 in stress, he becomes really serious, and all of a sudden he has to organize his life, organize his closet, get things done, you know, and so it helps him settle down. But, you know, I just can't imagine that he's like, yes, I can't wait to do all this. It's more like serious time, right? And so I guess all that to say, there can be introverted 7s that are drained by other people. Yes, that's a thing. And then also the other question, how do you best motivate 7s to see the bigger picture? I think how you would motivate them is to maybe talk about the big picture, get them excited about the bigger picture, help them to see the bigger picture. Truthfully, I think 7s don't usually have a hard time seeing that big picture. They think pretty big. They don't think just in the today. They're always in the future and going forward and seeing that bigger picture. They're visionaries. I guess if they're struggling or in adversity or anything like that, it's harder for them, and they can probably get a little down on themselves and different things like that. And so I think just being that friend to them and just helping them see it when they can't, you know, all of a sudden they can't see the bigger picture anymore, coming alongside them, talking them through it, helping them through their feelings, talking about their feelings because that's hard for them. But I guess just reminding them about it, reminding them why they're doing what they're doing, you know, bringing positivity to them, helping reframe, because maybe they've forgotten how to do that. Maybe for them, they're just like, forget it. I've tried everything. I don't know. And just, you know, getting them pumped again and excited. So I don't know. Hopefully that answered your question. But let's move on to the next one. How do I find out my type? Okay, that's a great one. You have a couple of different ways. One is you could take an Enneagram test. I will say they're not always extremely accurate, but it'll give you your top 3 at least, and then you can kind of research those 3. I would say Enneagram Institute has a great test. I don't know if it's been updated in a while though, but it to me still does what it's supposed to do. Beth McCord, her website, she has a great test. Hers is free. The Enneagram Institute's $12. I don't use this one that often, but I think Trudy probably has a good one. But so all I'm saying is take a test that takes away 5 or 6 that you're definitely not, and then gives you your top 3. And from there, do your research. Either go on my YouTube channel and watch all the videos under those 3 types. B, you can hire me. I do offer Enneagram coaching, Enneagram typing. All of that information is down below. Or let's see, A, B, C, you know, books. I would say books and the internet. Just research those 3 types and really ask yourself, is this my core fear, my core weakness, my core longing, my core struggle within those 3 types, and figure out which one you truly, truly know motivates you and which one do you kind of feel exposed from. Normally that could be your type. So anyways, it's a little bit about how to find your type. Okay, so here's this one. How to love on my tween daughter who thinks she is a 5. Great question. As a mom of a type 5 that's 19 years old, I have had to learn this. I will say I had to learn that my children are different personalities and they need their love tank filled differently. My type 5, he needs me to honor his time. And so for you, I would say honor their time, honor, you know, when they do come to you and need to talk, put everything down, because it doesn't happen that often usually with a 5. Unless it's like a subject they really want to talk about, they tend to be a little bit more quiet and reserved and not really the one to bring up subjects and want to talk. And so for me, when my son comes downstairs or comes in the door or comes to me and sits at my desk and starts to talk, I don't embarrass him by saying, oh my gosh, you want to talk? Okay. That's what I want to do. I go, oh, how are you doing? What's on your mind? And I just keep it I match his energy and I match him, and he opens up and he talks. And so I put my phone down and I just give him the time. And you would think like, oh, is that showing love? Yes. When we give our time, it's showing love. When we give our energy, when we give our words, that's all, you know, ways to show love. And I would say learn her love language. As a 5, not only do the research of her being a 5 and what that looks like, also learn her love language. Is it quality time? Is it acts of service? Is it words of affirmation? Is it gifts? Is it physical touch? Learn that and show love that way also. The biggest way I found to love on my type 5 is just to honor him and to understand him and to get to know him and not project my own needs on him and not project, you know, any of me. So as a 9, I want to get in his space a little more and I want to see how he's doing and I need to know, is he doing okay? But I have learned that that just feels like intrusion to him. And so for me, it's just honoring who he is, and that's how I love on him. Can you type all the Friends show's characters? No. Not off the top of my head. I guess I could have read this and done the research. I will say, I think Enneagram with Abby has a video on that already. Go give that video a watch. I'm pretty sure she's already typed all the Friends cast. I think, if I remember right, no, I don't even remember. I don't know. Go watch her video if you want to know all the types of the Friends from the Friends show. Oh, here's another question about 7s. Can you be a 7 who doesn't like unicorns and costume parties? Yes, you can. Like, you know, the previous 7 question, all of that applies to this exact one too. You don't have to like unicorns and costume parties, and you could still be a 7, yes. What test do you recommend? Which I kind of think I already answered that one pretty good. Why? I said Beth McCord's Your Enneagram Coach, hers is good. The Enneagram Institute is good. But again, I would honestly look at the core motivations of each type. There's 9 types. Look at those motivations, read them, and use the test to just take away like 5 or 6 that's definitely not your type, and go from there. But yeah, that's the answer there. How do you know what your type is and what is each type? Okay, how do you know what your type is? I feel like I've kind of answered this right. How do you know what your type is? It is the one that makes you feel a little like, oh, you're reading my mail. That one feels uncomfortable. I definitely don't want to be that one. A lot of times that could be your type. It's the core motivations. It's the core fear, core desire, core weakness, core longing. Do you relate to those? And then also, if you still are having problems figuring out your type and you know you don't want to hire a coach or anything like that, I would say look at where the type goes in stress, look where the type goes in growth, and see how much do those show up in your life. Sometimes we can look at the 2 numbers it's connected to, and that can help us also. And then also look at the wings and different things like that. So that would be how you can figure out your type. Or how you know your type, and then also what was it and what is each type? I think you're asking for me to name them all, maybe? What is each type? Type 1, the perfectionist or the reformer. You hear both of those titles for the 1. Type 2, the helper. Type 3, the achiever. Type 4, the romantic individualist. Type 5, the observer. You also hear this one called the investigator. Either of those is the type 5. Type 6, the loyalist. Type 7, the enthusiast. Type 8, the challenger. And type 9, the peacemaker. So those are the titles of all 9 types, if that was what your question was in regards to. Moving on to, oh my gosh. Moving on to, what is your favorite type? What is my favorite type? I don't have a favorite type, guys, right? That would be so wrong of me to be like, oh, actually my favorites are 8s. And I say that because I'm married to an 8, but no, I don't have a favorite type. I definitely noticed that a lot of my friends are the same type, which is kind of funny to me. And then, you know, I'm married to an 8, and I'm a 9, so 9s and 8s. I see a lot of relationships with 9s and 8s, but I don't have a favorite type. Maybe the type 9, because that's what I am. But no favorites there. So moving on to, ooh, this one's a good one. What is a Tritype? Okay, so the Tritype, I don't work within the Tritypes very often. I find it to be confusing if you don't already have an amazing foundation of the Enneagram built up, to say the least. The Tritypes are the Catherine Favre's theory. It's her theory. You'll find all the information on Tritypes on her website. At least that's the only place I've really found a lot of Tritype information so far. What the Tritype essentially says is like, yes, everybody has a core type, but there's 2 other types they utilize. And so those are utilized within the center of intelligence. And so you're going to have a type in each of the centers of intelligence. So the 8, 9, and 1, the 2, 3, and 4, the 5, 6, and 7. I think if I understand it right, it's like your main type is the first one and you kind of stack them, and it would be, you know, which one you use next. And I think she has a test. Actually, I know she has a test on her website if you want to know your Tritype. I think I did. I think when I did the test, I was 973 or 2. I don't remember. 972 maybe? 973? 972? One of those was my Tritype. And I think it just, you know, it's like I said, it's stacking. It's the order you use them. It's supposed to bring you into more balance, I think. I think the idea is like you're more balanced, and it just shows you what you utilize. And I am oversimplifying this like crazy. I'm sorry. Go look at her website if you want to know more information about it, or if you want to find out your Tritype. That would be my advice. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, okay. We'll do this one. It says, how are you doing? Thank you for asking, guys. How am I doing? I'm assuming this is in regards to the video I did about the life update, right? Where I was like, I'm kind of struggling and I'm not able to make videos as much as I used to be. And I was, you know, comparing myself to people in my same lane and different things like that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the video I'm talking about. I'll link it down below. It's just a life update. But how am I doing? I'm doing pretty well. I've got some good boundaries that I've set up that really help me feel like I'm just staying in my own lane. I'm, you know, doing the work that needs to be done. I focused a lot on my Instagram account, Enneagram and Coaching Instagram account lately. And I've seen a lot of growth there and a lot of great things over there. But I love the YouTube it's my first love. So I don't ever want to give this up, but I'm just not able to make videos as much as I used to be. Part of that reason is my own fault. It's because we have 2 YouTube channels. Kind of dumb, I know. We also have a channel called The Van Caskies. My last name is McCaskey. We bought a van. We named the channel Van Caskey. I'll link it down below if you want to go give it a watch, but it really is a fun travel channel with my husband and I, the Type 8 and I'm the Type 9, right? And it's all about traveling in a van, a Class B van, if you will. And we're about to do a huge trip next week, actually. And so that's gonna be fun. So yeah, I'm doing well. I find that I feel like I found a lot of balance within essentially all the balls that are up in the air at any given time. I'm still doing a lot of coaching and different things like that. And a couple weeks ago, I actually flew to Oklahoma and taught this amazing group of women, the EWI, I think it was, what was it? It was Executive Women's International Board Retreat. Went and taught them the Enneagram, and it was wonderful. So I really, you know, I feel like those kind of things just help me stay motivated. And yeah, so work-life balance is really good right now. So I guess that's how I'm doing within work-life balance. I'm assuming that's what you were asking. If you were asking personally, I feel like I'm actually doing pretty well personally, other than last week. Was it last week or the week before? I had to have a colonoscopy for the first time. That was not fun. For those that don't know, I lost my mom to colon cancer almost 7 years ago, and she was only 55 years old. She, at 54, was told she had stage 4 colon cancer, and then 10 months later passed away. Literally the worst time of my entire life. You know, now that we have that knowledge in our family, we need to be getting them. I need to be getting them. So it was my first one. I'm 43. Everything came back good. So we have a good praise report there. But personally, that was very, very scary for me. Just the whole process. If you've had one, I know this is so TMI, sorry. What was your experience? Yeah, so mine was actually good, but it was the worry up to it and just the not wanting to go under, I don't know, just the whole thing, guys. It just gave me a lot of anxiety. I found myself racing towards the 6th the entire time, but we have a clean report, so that's good, praise. Okay, so that is the end of the questions for today. And at the beginning I said, hey, I have some big news. Stay to the end. I don't know that it's big news, but I want to start doing lives. I want to get on here once a week and do a live. I think that'll help me be able to interact with you guys if I haven't had time to shoot a video and edit the video and get it out to you, at least, you know, we'll have this connection, because there's a lot of you that reach out to me every day and I'm not able to always answer everything. And I really want to have this time with you guys to where we're connecting. You can ask me questions. So probably won't start for 2 more weeks because we are taking a big trip, but I definitely want to start doing lives. I want to get on here and you guys can ask me any question. If you have questions about typing or anything, you know, maybe it'll be like a 30-minute live once a week where you guys can count on me being here. And, you know, maybe at the beginning, no one will show up and I'll just like make things up to talk about. But then as, you know, you guys get used to like, this is our thing, you'll remember and write it down like, hey, this is when her live is. So, and then, you know, they'll obviously be recorded and be on there for you to see at any time. So anyways, that's my big news. I'm gonna start doing lives here on YouTube. I'm trying to figure them out right now, but I'm pretty sure I've got it figured out. But yeah, so if you are wanting me to do a live, or this is exciting, or this interests you, let me know like what days and times work best for you guys. I'm trying to get an idea of when would be the best overall time, if that makes sense. I mean, it has to be good for me too, but I'd love to just like pick your guys' brain and know, A, are you interested in this? B, are you excited? C, do you have a time and day that you're like, dang, Mondays at noon, that works for me? And then I'll probably just, you know, figure it out from there. So anyways, that's the big news. Dun, dun, dun. I'm doing lives. I'm gonna do lives. I'm scared to do lives. I'm gonna do lives. That's what we're gonna do. So anyways, I think that's all I got today, guys. Thanks so much if you've made it to this point. You guys are the true rock stars. You are the MVP of my channel. If you've made it all the way to the end, give me a thumbs up in the comment section, and I mean, like the video, but then also give me some kind of like thumbs up, heart emoji in the comment section to let me know that you're a true MVP and that you stayed till the very end of this video. I appreciate you guys, but that's all I have for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate this community. It's special to me. So, but that's all I have. Until next time, bye guys.